Who? Really? Who are you going to call? I mean, it's Friday morning somewhere, and Friday afternoon somewhere else, and Friday early evening somewhere else. So, but right now, turn off all alarms. It is 11:11 on Friday, July 23rd, 2021. My name is Jenna Mammina. This is 11:11 with Jenna. I'm watching Lillian get comfortable. And I am here every day at 11:11 a.m. and 11:11 p.m. Eastern Time. So if I'm in Norway, it'll be, I think, 5 a.m. and 5 p.m., 5:11. Or in California, 8. So might as well, jump on and join the party. And if you are here, I can't see anything right now because I can't tell if I've made it. Have I made it to the big time of Facebook? Patty Lohman, thank you very much. Let me edit the privacy and make it public. And now that's done. And now let me just see.
Or in California, 8.
Hey, Patty. Hey, Rob. Patty and Rob, Morocco. So you listen to that on your cool stereo system? I bet it's awesome. I need to get Paul McCandless on the show. He played last week, and had I still been in California or wanted to jump on a plane, I would have gone to see him in Charged Particles. I am. Tonight is Display and Share. I'm excited about Display and Share because I have something kind of cool to show you. I just have to find the charger for it. Once I find the charger, then it's kind of a neat thing. Just a little thing. Just a little thing. It is. It's little. It's little. Like little. You do indeed. Indeed you do. Thank you, Cookie Marenko. Blue Coast Records. You have listened to Derek Jones' recordings on Blue Coast, correct? If you haven't, check them out now. Good morning, Julie Luce. Tomorrow morning, a brisk one more Saturday morning with Jeff Metzger because I have a party to go to at 1 p.m. An outdoor couples shower for my nephew and his fiancée. Couples shower. We're going to play games and, fun stuff like that. Good morning. And then tomorrow night, one more Saturday night with Gary Lambert. And then Sunday morning with Alex Martinez. We're going to talk about food and cannabinated stuff. And Sunday night, one of the guys from my +1 is my mama. Cam, Cam's getting married. They were going to get married last September, and then, and it was going to be a big to-do, and then, so now they're getting married this September, and it's going to be small, but we're having a couples shower tomorrow. Well, I'm not. I'm just going. Mama Grace, and then we're going to hang out in Saugatuck. So if you're anywhere near Saugatuck, come hang out with us. After 4 p.m., we'll be cruising the streets, which reminds me I need to go do something today. And then, Alex Martinez. And then Sunday night, my friend Martin's going to come on the show. And then, glasses. Mind as I do. And then Monday morning we meander. And Monday night we meditate. And Tuesday morning, maybe a friend of mine's going to be on. And Tuesday night, definitely a friend is going to be on. Dr. Andrew Rader. And then Wednesday morning, it's making and baking with Patty. Patty, if you bought that condo, we could make and bake in your kitchen all day long and look out at the lake. Just saying. And then Wednesday evening, Shauna Rader. And Thursday morning, something. And Thursday night, conversations with the creatives. Friday morning. Let me think. What do we do on Friday mornings? Armando Ortega.
Oh, sorry. Hey,
Hey,
morning.
what's
How
up?
are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing better. Okay. You've had one of those mornings, I'm sure, where you dreamt something. You've had a dream.
Oh, dude, I had crazy dreams last night.
I had some kind of crazy dream, and I sort of vaguely remember some of it, but it was one of those dreams where you did something wrong. You messed up somehow in the dream, and then you wake up in the morning going, "Uh-oh, oh shit, I messed up. Whoa, well, how's this going to shake out? And you're getting up like you're walking on a million eggshells and broken glass. You're like, what did I do? Okay, I think I did that. And there was comments about it. Was that in the dream? Is that real? I don't know. None of it's real. What I thought I had done none of. When I finally
What was
remembered,
it? What did you think you had done?
oh, okay. So, okay. Caveat to all of the 1111ers out there. None of this has happened. None of this is going on.
This is where rumors start.
This is, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, you've been hesitant to talk about it. Um, I, I had a dream that I had had an affair.
Oh, you know what? Right when you got on today, I was going to say, how's Snowy? Where's Snowy? I want to talk to her. I felt the need to talk to Snowy like right away because I felt
Yeah,
something, you did
yeah.
something
You better
wrong.
tell her that I didn't have the affair that I thought I did. Um, no, it's so funny.
Is it with someone that you know?
It's okay. The only thing I can figure is I've been spending a lot of time with this friend of ours who's undergoing cancer
Right,
treatment. And
right.
we've been going to lunch once or twice a week. We went thrift shopping the other day. She's driving the Mercedes. She's using the Mercedes while she's here. And so, we went and washed the cars together and we hang out. But she's like 27 years old. I mean, she's young. She's like a daughter to us, to both of us. But a couple of weeks ago, I was at the restaurant and the regular customers were there. And one of them said to me, "Hey, so how's your wife?" And I go, "Oh, she's fine. She's been working on X and such and so." And then I realized this guy has never met my wife. Then I realized that our friend had been at the restaurant one day having dinner and she had talked to them. She's pretty friendly. So she'd been sitting by herself. She was having dinner early. These people came in. They had a bit of a conversation together. This guy assumed that this 27-year-old woman is my wife. And so I realized it, and I said nothing to clear it up. I'm just like, okay, I'm not going to say. So maybe that is what got embedded in my head. I don't know, but I had this feeling that it had been found out that I was having an affair, and Snowy knew, and Joaquin knew, and I got up like, oh shit, oh man, I fucked up. Then I realized, wait, I know I didn't have an affair. I'm aware of the fact that I have been completely faithful throughout nearly 24 years of marriage coming up in October, 24 years. What is the 24th anniversary? Is that like, I don't
A
know,
bag of flour, I think.
a bag of flour? Seriously?
I think so.
That's weird. But okay, I'll do it.
Actually, I was thinking about giving that to my nephew and his fiance for their shower.
I heard, yeah, that's gonna be
That's
fun.
a really nice flower.
That's nice because it's symbolic of
They're
living
going
a
to
life
be making
together.
something together.
Yeah, creating things together, baking things together. So
Mhm.
yeah, so when I got up and got in the shower, Snowy was still here. I didn't mention the fact that I had had this dream. I was like, let me see how she reacts. Let me see where
That's
she goes.
perfect, dude. I needed to talk to Snowy immediately before you even got on. I'm like, I have to ask how Snowy is if everything's okay.
Well, everything's good. She's at work. Work started again this week. For she's standing in on her regular gig on Danger Force on Nickelodeon, and she's going in to get tested for the third time this week. She's doing three uh, COVID tested, even
Yeah,
though even though she's vaccinated. Everybody's vaccinated, but they're still COVID testing 3 times a
at their
week.
work, they're COVID testing.
Yeah, at work they're COVID testing 3 times a week. They're masked and face shielded, and they're still doing, like they were doing before. They're
How
all
it's
their,
supposed to be. That's how I live. I watched a guy last night on CNN. He's a sportscaster on something,
mhm.
and he's double vaccinated, and both he and his daughter got the variant and really sick. And I've been saying this for months, and he said it last night on national TV. I'm like, right on. I will be wearing a mask for the rest of my life in grocery stores, wherever there is, because you don't even want, I don't even like to get a cold. I wear masks before. That's why I have so many, because I was wearing them before.
Yeah.
But anyway.
No, it totally makes sense. I mean, we're masked again at the restaurant. When we were unmasked here, I was going unmasked because
Okay.
it's hot. It's been really hot here. And so, am I crooked? Are you crooked?
Mine are.
Okay, mine are just dirty.
Right.
So yeah, and now I think I am back to, for a minute I was kind of like, yeah, nobody's wearing masks and I feel weird wearing it. And now it's like, no, forget it. I don't care. I just don't care. I'll just wear a mask for the rest of my life. And, plus, as I've said before, I have so many masks that go with so many of my clothes. What am I going to do?
Right.
And, folks are fine. I mean, the first day back, which was Sunday night, people came in without masks on, and I just gently reminded them. I didn't, I wasn't a jerk. I wasn't the mask police. I didn't do, invasion of the body snatchers. I just said, hey, just from here on out, you're gonna need to wear a mask when you walk through the door.
Don't you guys have a sign when you walk in the door?
Yeah, we do. We have a sign on the door. But people were like, "Oh yeah, I wasn't sure, and it was last night."
I live in LA County. I'm not sure what the mandate is.
Right. And I just said, from here on out, you need to be wearing a mask when you walk through the door. Of course, when you order a drink or you get your food, you can take your mask off. And I had one guy last night. We were.
I'm sorry, that's just silly. But...
Oh, I know. It's like it's all over the news. It's all over the radio. Of course, you knew. You were just sort of feeling it out.
No, but it's silly that you go into a restaurant and you can. You when your food comes, you eat. It's just silly. It's like,
well, that's silly. Yeah, that is silly as well. That is also silly. I mean, I see the folly in that, and I just stay away from people. I bring their food. I get away from the table.
Do you go like that after you give them the food?
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
I drop their plates from about a foot up. Clink. Just drop it on the table and run.
Doesn't matter if you're vaccinated, Will. D. Lindemann. It does not matter if you're vaccinated.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
You can still get the variant.
You still need to wear a mask. That was the conversation that I watched last night.
Yeah.
Kid time, cute kid time. Well, my dream last night, I had two, and the first one was significant, and I don't remember what it was because the second one was so weird it wiped out that memory.
Okay.
But there was a really bad storm here last night. Like Lillian, at 4 a.m, she's up like this.
This is for real. There was a storm. Oh, this is in your dream?
No, this is for real.
For real, okay.
I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Wait, I sense a storm coming. It's probably not going to happen for about 2 hours, but I know it's on its way.
But Lillian was like, I know it's going to happen.
Yeah, she's like all shaking. That must have been about 3, and then I have this new supplement. You don't get you don't know that, William. See, that's the thing. Nobody knows. Everyone thinks they know. Oh, well, if you do this, you don't. Why take any chances?
I agree.
You don't know if you're going to get hospitalized. You could get the variant even though you're double vaccinated and get vaccinated and go to the hospital. You don't know. You don't know what the next variant's going to be or the next thing that's going to come in.
And you don't know. You don't have any knowledge of what your personal immune system is like. You don't know. I mean, you don't have a map of that. So, yeah. You may not get, or they may not like me, they may not even let you go into the hospital when you're sick. Sorry, you're not 65 or pregnant. I was refused a test by the emergency room after being in 3 different countries and 5 different states. That's crazy.
And then charged for the emergency room visit.
Oh my God.
That's a story in itself. But
that was like my goddaughter, because they didn't know what was going on. My goddaughter got back from London, and she was at LAX at Bradley Terminal. She got off the plane. She wasn't feeling well. She went through customs. She said, I obviously looked like I was running a fever. I was sweating. I was exhausted. They didn't pull her over for further testing or anything because nobody knew anything. It was March 17th.
March March 11th over here, coming back
Yeah,
Guatemala and then Mexico, and then
yeah.
had it's its own story that I'll tell you another time. So my dream, the first dream was something really bizarre, and
Mhm.
then the storm started happening, and Lillian was like out of her head, and so I wrapped her. But I got this supplement. I don't know if it's good because aren't your cats very sensitive to that as well?
Yes, very much so.
That fireworks and stuff.
Yeah, fireworks and weather and the wind. The wind freaks him out when it
Well,
gets.
I have a fan now in the ceiling in the attic to cool down the rest of the house. So when the fan's on, Lillian's like, and I keep telling
Really.
her, it's just noise in the background. Don't even pay attention to that.
But it's
But
something
anyway,
that she wasn't used to in her world,
no,
so
I'm
it
not
freaks her
either.
out.
It's like, ooh. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
So now I'm in my dream. I'm at my house in Richmond Annex, California. Lovely house. I leave the house in the morning. Right, Lisa was my mom. Exactly. Um, in fact, when Grace was sick last January, we were at Peggy's, and Rick talked to her on the phone, and she said she was describing every symptom. She was nauseous, vomiting, cold, cough like a couldn't get out of bed. We got to Peggy's after flying. She didn't get out of bed for 6 days.
Wow.
And Rick was like, I don't know what it is that you have, but it's some sort of a flu that I've not seen before. And there were starting to be other people in because he works at the home that.
Right at the
That's
assisted
why
living.
she didn't get to see Connie.
Right.
We were there. She didn't see Connie because she was so sick.
So
Anyway,
she might have had a case of
oh,
coronavirus.
most definitely like a
Undoubtedly.
classic case.
I mean, because coronavirus was happening in the fall of 2019. It
Right.
was already starting to develop.
And she
And
was sick on New Year's Eve
mm,
at my party, and so were a couple other people. Like the days before, they're like, I kind of have a little bit of a cold. I'm like, well, you shouldn't come then. No, I'm fine. No, I'm fine. It's just an allergy. And this guy last night on CNN said that he woke up with a tickle in his throat, and he was going on vacation. And he said he thought he had an allergy, and he has a 7-year-old daughter. Brian, somebody, kind of a cute guy. I don't know who he was.
mm,
And but he's on some NBC alternative sports show.
I don't know. I'm not a sports guy really, so
Yeah. The guy on the plane. Yeah, same thing for me. But anyway, he said he felt a tickle and they were leaving the country. They had to have a COVID test.
sure.
He tested positive, double vaccinated, got really sick, got his 7-year-old daughter sick because she can't get a vaccination.
Right, of course. Oh wow. Wow, that's scary.
Yeah, my story. Anyway, so my dream. So I leave my house. I have this really cool house that I lived in for 12 years.
Hmm.
And in my dream, I was still living there.
How many
And
years ago
then,
did you move out of that house?
oh, like right during the .com, my
Oh,
landlord.
okay.
Oh,
So
sorry, you have to leave now.
it's like 2011, 2012, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I lived in this house since 1988.
Ugh,
I moved in. And I
wow.
wanted to buy it and they wouldn't let me buy it and that whole thing.
Right, right, right.
And they ended up selling it at the height of the .com, and then I
For a
would move out.
bazillion dollars.
Yeah, and that's when people were living in people's bathrooms and stuff. Like they were
Right,
on
right.
Craigslist, they were renting out bathrooms. So I'm in my house in my dream, and it had this garage with a little studio that my friend Michael actually lived in for a long time, but I turned it into a kind of a it was yoga and stretching and it had a deck. It was so cool and a view of the Bay Bridge and the Golden Gate Bridge and
Sounds amazing.
it was incredible. I walk in the house in my dream and there's other people's things in the house. Like the key worked.
Right.
I walk in. There's this guy walking with a shovel in the house. And he puts on this weird coat. And I'm like, excuse me. And he just looks at me and he walks out. And then he meets this whole group of other guys in this same kind of long jacket and shovel, and they like walk as a group out. And I'm thinking, and there's all this stuff in the house. Like there's big trees and stuff and a couch in the hallway and kind of like what this house looks like right now. But I'm sitting there going, what the, who? And then this guy walks out of my bedroom. Totally different, all different furniture in the bedroom. I'm like, excuse me. And he doesn't say a word. He just walks by me. I'm like, excuse me, this is my house. What? I mean, I left like 2 hours before, and
Right.
and he's looking at me, and he's like, so. And then
So he knows you're there. You're not a ghost. You're not.
at first I thought I was a ghost because he wasn't paying attention. I'm like, do you see me? I'm right here. This is my house. Hello. And
Yeah.
then this little kid comes out, and then this blonde woman with all this blonde hair comes out, and I'm like, who are you people? I'm gonna call 911. How did this happen in my house? And they're looking at me like, and there was a new deck put on the side of the house. Like all this stuff happened in a matter of hours. I'm like, what's going on here? And they're just looking at me like I'm crazy.
Oh wow.
But they knew it was my house.
Right. They knew
like-
that they had usurped the place.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, it's your place. Okay.
And now I'm gonna, and they were making dinner, and the kids were playing, and the husband's like telling the wife, like, don't say anything, just don't say anything. So
Just
she's
keep
not
going.
talking to me at all.
And that it just sort of went like that.
And I woke up.
Oh God, that's so
And
weird.
it was like, because then the thunder was like crack.
Wow,
Weird.
that is really weird.
It was really uncomfortable.
That's really strange.
I'm just like, oh, I know what the dream was before now. Thank you. The dream before was I went into a Dunkin' Donuts with Lily and Pearl.
You would never go to a Dunkin' Donuts. Come on.
Right. Oh yeah, it was crazy, Melanie. Just crazy. Because they were just like, yeah, it was very what was that show? With Rod Sterling. What was it?
A Twilight Zone.
Twilight. I was totally in the Twilight Zone in this movie, in this dream last night.
Well, it's also kind of like a movie. Did you ever see a movie called Dark City?
No.
Oh, it's a movie about this guy who wakes up one morning and he walks out his door and the city is completely different. It's like totally changed. And he's fallen out of this sort of cycle that everybody's gotten used to, where the city changes every night. And there are these nefarious characters who are, very pale skinned and wear dark clothes, and they wear top hats, and they change the city. They have this machinery to change the city around and change everybody's reality every night. But this guy keeps living in his same reality, and he runs into the woman who he was dating, or maybe his wife, and she doesn't know who he is. And he's trying to figure out, what's going on. The whole movie is him trying to figure out what's happening.
Can we look it up?
I think you can. It's Rufus Sewell. Do you remember that actor, Rufus Sewell?
Dark City is a 1998 neo-noir science fiction film directed by Alex Proyas and starring somebody.
It's Rufus Sewell and
Kiefer Sutherland.
Kiefer Sutherland is in it. Yeah.
Jennifer Connelly. I love Jennifer Connelly.
It's good. It's a good movie. I love that movie. I haven't seen that in years. Yeah, and it's trippy like that. But anyway, sorry, I interrupted you.
Well, that was so bizarre.
But you and Lily and Pearl were in Dunkin' Donuts.
I'm in Dunkin' Donuts, and I recognize a couple of people there from high school. Like right now I'm in Michigan. I've seen 3 or 4 people from high school, and
sure.
And a few people have moved home, and they're like, "Hey, I'm living here now. Hey, let's go meet up and have sunset. Let's go to this." And I keep saying, "Yeah, sure," but I haven't gone. I mean, I watched the sunset the other night. We have no sunsets because of the fires. The smoke is just wiping out the sunset. The sun's there for a minute, and then it's all gray. Like right now, it's all gray. The rain today will be interesting to see what happens tonight.
Yeah, we're supposed to get some rain today or this weekend. It's a little gray here, but I hope we do. I hope we do. Because we need it. Rain, rain, rain.
So I'm in Dunkin' Donuts, and all of a sudden, I see these people that I have not seen at all. And then I see another person, and then another person, and then they come up and they go, "Oh, you're here for the reunion." And I go, "I didn't know there was a reunion." There's this whole other ballroom at this Dunkin' Donuts, this huge, huge room where these people were in a big circle, and they were all my friends from high school.
Oh, wow. That's a great dream.
There were like there were 90 plus people in our graduating class, and I think almost every single one of them was there. And I saw them, like John Monty and this woman Claudia and this woman Teresa Pecoraro, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Brenda Geddig. I gave her a hug, and Lee McFall. I saw all these people, not even all people that I see on Facebook, but just that I went to high school with.
Wow.
That was the first dream.
That's a good dream. I mean,
that was fun.
That was a fun dream.
But I was the last one and then they were, fitting in it was like when you walk into like when you're taking a workshop of some sort, and the circle was getting
so
bigger.
They were sitting in a circle of 90 people. That is a huge ballroom.
Yeah, it was part of the Dunkin' Donuts.
Well, of course, yeah. I mean, I think that's a new Dunkin' Donuts feature. It's Dunkin' Donuts Max. You have to look for those. It's a Dunkin' Donuts Max, and they have a huge ballroom.
Something. Yeah. But I got to see people that I haven't seen.
That's great.
Right? Some of them that I know are on Facebook. I'll definitely reach out to.
What?
But
okay.
The next dream was not cool.
But what an interesting juxtaposition. You had a dream where you got to see a bunch of people who you hadn't seen from your past, and then your next dream was your past is totally erased.
Gone.
I mean, that's so
gone. Yeah.
And in my dream, my past was irrevocably altered and messed up.
That's messed up.
Oh God, I hate those dreams. I mean, also, this is funny, because I was thinking about my former life as a drinker the other day. I was thinking something about it, about how, there were days where I'd wake up and go, what happened last night? And it was that feeling. It was that feeling this morning of like, what just happened
to you in your real life?
Yeah, what happened to me? And then, there were days when I would wake up and feel like, did I get into a car accident? Did I better go out? I don't remember how I got home. And I'd go out and check the car. Go out to the driveway and is there a dent or anything? And fortunately, it happened that one time. But I remembered that I got into that accident because I woke up in jail. Anyway. It
wasn't part of my dream.
But yeah, that wasn't part of the dream. I was so funny though. I have a regular customer. She's probably in her 70s. She has a family. She's comes in regularly with her husband and daughter and son-in-law, and their the two grandchildren. And she's great. She's super nice, but she's a big drinker. She can polish off 2 pints of German beer over the course of a meal and be fine. And she's lovely and nice, but I can tell where she's at in terms of her alcoholism, because she's really pale, dark circles under her eyes. Sometimes the daughter reminds her, like, hey, Mom, remember that? You said that, no, remember, Mom? And she has to be prompted to remember things. And I'm like, oh my God, I feel, it's like, I can't say anything. She orders a beer, I serve her a beer, but I'm just like, is it bad for me to facilitate this? I mean, what do you do? Well, nobody's ready until they're ready. But there is a saying, and I'm sure you've heard it from, if you have any friends who have been in the program, there, but for the grace of God, go I. It's one of the things that we say to ourselves. And one of my coworkers, one of the cooks, he and I are pretty close, and he's a former drinker and goes to AA. And I, pulled him aside and I said, hey, look, out on the floor, if you look through the window of the kitchen, there's a lady there, but for the grace. And he was like, what are you talking about? And I explained it to him, and he was like, oh, and he glanced out there and he's like, oh shit, you're right, dude. She's in it. I go, yeah, she's in it. She's totally in it. And he was like, what do you do? I'm like, serve her another beer, I guess. I mean, I don't know. It's when I see that, and I sort of really have a realization of the multiple bullets I've dodged. When I see other people in the middle of that dodging all those bullets, it's like, oh, come on. But What do
Everybody
you
gets
do?
there when they get there. Everyone has their own path.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And I mean, there's family members who I've not, yeah, anyway, we've talked about it. Anyway,
Do you have anything
so
to eat there?
I do. I
What do
do.
what do you got?
I'm glad you asked.
Oh, my goodness. Look at that, Mama Grace.
These are from our friend Nathan. He's a buddy of Joaquin's. He works at a coffee house called Alana's, and he brings us the pastries that they're not going to use. And so this is a ham and cheese croissant right here. And then this is a croissant. I think it's stuffed with cream cheese and strawberry. I'm not sure. So
Turn the
which do
other
you,
one. Let's see the other one again.
this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a ham and cheese.
Interesting.
And then, oh, that right there is my own addition. He said, try it with some mustard. I don't know if you can find this anywhere. Do you like mustard?
I love mustard.
Russian mustard.
Oh, I love Russian mustard.
Yeah, this is so hot. It's great.
I have like 4 different mustards in my refrigerator.
I generally always have like 4 different mustards too because I love mustard. I love mustard. I know you're not a mayonnaise person. I like mayonnaise too. I know you're not a mayonnaise person at all. But you do plain yogurt.
Yeah, but not until I think I was 40.
Oh, really?
I think I started plain yogurt in my 40s.
I go back and forth with plain yogurt. There's times where it's like, yeah, plain yogurt, cool, and I'll add some raisins and nuts, it'll be great. Then there's times like plain yogurt, man, it's so plain.
I like Greek yogurt. I like really good Greek yogurt, like
Yeah,
organic Greek yogurt.
that's really tasty. And I use that in place of mayonnaise sometimes when I'm trying to be good. Like for making tuna salad. Like, do you use mayonnaise in your tuna salad? What do you use for you just use mustard?
Yogurt.
Oh, yogurt. Yeah.
Like even in deviled eggs, I'll do yogurt.
Oh, I bet that's great.
And I'll put wasabi or different flavors in it.
I bet that's really tasty.
Red chili.
Oh yeah. So here, let's taste the ham and cheese. Mmm. Really buttery. Not a ton of cheese, which is good, but it's very buttery. And Russian mustard, super yummy. So this party tomorrow, this thing, it's it's Cam's.
Couples shower.
And what does that mean? Because it's like it's not like a wedding shower where it's only women.
Right, it's a couples
Okay.
shower. Mm-hmm.
Well, that ought to be fun. I like the bag of flour idea.
I think so. I mean, we got them one of their place settings,
Mhm.
right? But yeah, I think a bag of flour because she's a really good, she likes to cook and bake, and I think a bag of flour would be a nice gift. I don't know why.
No, I like it. I mean, it's
It's just like it's something they're doing together.
right. Well, it's reminiscent of something that we did at our wedding. And I think I mentioned this to you before. In the African American tradition, from the days of slavery, slaves weren't allowed to get married, so they created their own ritual, and part of the ritual was jumping the broom.
Right.
And that meant jumping over, the common household broom to symbolize that you were jumping into a domestic relationship together. So a buddy of mine had given me this really cool broom that I guess he gave it to me. He gave it to me for Christmas one year, and I was like, this is weird. Okay. It was just this gnarled, kind of antique-y looking broom, short. And so we talked about jumping the broom, and I remembered that I had this cool broom. And so our florist decorated it, and the woman who celebrated our wedding, Reverend Carol Traylor, she did a whole presentation about what jumping the broom meant and how it meant jumping into a new domestic relationship. She said, but we're going to do it a little differently here. Yolanda and Armando will have the attendants put the broom down here in front of the altar, and they will jump the broom and proceed out of the church. Then the attendants are going to take the broom and take it to the back of the church. And all of you in attendance today will jump the broom as you leave the church to symbolize that you are here to support them in their relationship, and you're here to be part of their new their new partnership, their new marriage, their new union. And so we have pictures of everybody, my family, everybody jumping the broom
Cool.
from our wedding. Yeah, it's great. It's that. So the bag of flour, I think, really is that kind of that kind of symbolism. I love that.
I
That's
woke up
very cool.
thinking, I'm going to give them this really beautiful bag of flour.
I think that's great. I think that's a cool thing. And Cam knows you. He'll know.
I
He'll know
might
what
not think it's cool, but
but who cares?
I'm going to write something cool with it, you know?
Yeah. No, I mean, you'll have to explain it a little bit, but I think it's great.
It's just a feeling that I have, and it's a really good bag of flour. It's organic, beautiful flour, and she loves to make things, and they make things together. And
How long have they been engaged?
hi, Mama Grace.
I'm Mama Grace.
I don't know. A while.
That's
They
good.
live in a big, beautiful house, and they're buying another house, and
Nice.
they're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, are you guys gonna buy your place? Have you talked to your landlord anymore?
Haven't talked to him in a minute. We're just sort of moving forward. I mean, we don't have the wherewithal to do it in this real estate market right now anyway. I mean, LA, crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah.
There's a condo for sale right across from me, right on the beach, right on the lake, on the bluff, on the beach, on the lake, on the bluff. Patty's looking for a place, and I ran over there last night to show it to her online. I'm like, Patty, move in here, and it's $400,000 for this fabulous 1,500 square foot condo in an old brick building, gorgeous, 4 units, unbelievable.
Is it a
And
2-bedroom?
it's 2 bedrooms,
Yeah.
1 bath, but then there's other bathrooms in the basement that you can use.
Oh.
And it's really cool. There's like all this extra space, like in the basement there's storage, and then there's 2 bathrooms in the basement, full bathrooms with showers. That
Oh, wow,
if
that's
you have
nice.
a guest or someone, they have to go, and then really nice laundry facility and gorgeous kitchen, needs new countertops. Right on the lake. Like boom, I wake up and go, "Good morning." I would never move from that apartment in my entire life.
Right, of course not.
You guys should come buy this thing. $400,000. Boom, and you're in this great place.
Jeez, oh man.
It'd be $1.5 million.
Easily.
Easy.
I mean, yeah, near a body of water, that's crazy. Oh, hey, that's what I was going to ask. I meant to look it up before I got online with you, but then I was running around doing things. Is everything okay with Lisa's place in terms of the fires? I know the fires are up north. I didn't check for Lakeport.
There's been a little bit of smoke depending on the wind, but yeah.
Good. Yeah,
It's not over until it's over. It's not over till November.
I know.
It's its own season now.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. It's just absolutely nuts.
It's happening.
Hey, let's see what's in this other croissant. I mean, pop it open. Oh, look, strawberries it is strawberries and cream cheese.
There's even like strawberry on the outside, kind of, right? Like
yeah.
Gracie, you would love
God.
that. When we go to LA, we have to go to this croissant place.
Two Hermanos, yeah. It's really good. Ooh, that's really good. It's because it's not super sweet. It's more like tangy.
Savory, strawberry.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's really tasty. Mm-hmm.
Good. Now, is there cheese in that? Is there like a cream cheese vibe in that strawberry thing?
I think there's a little bit of cream cheese in here too. Yeah. Yeah. It's really tasty.
It looks like they actually rolled it in with the strawberry, yes?
I think they did. Yeah, I think what they did is probably laid out the dough and then put the strawberry on it and then cut it and rolled it. It's nicely done. I don't think they make these themselves. I'll find out where they get them from, and
then we'll go there.
Yeah, and then I'll go there.
Drive over there.
I'm changing my eating patterns a little bit. My cholesterol's a little high. I can't be from having pie every Friday morning. I think
or
so.
Croissant. Well, it's just once every couple weeks.
I know. Yeah.
What did you have for dinner last night?
spicy seafood combination rice from Choi. Yeah, do you remember that Thai place on Sunset? Choi? It's still there.
Crazy.
After, I mean, it was here. It was here and going strong when I first moved here.
Yeah, I
So,
used to walk to it.
oh, you lived right there.
I lived on Croissant and DeLongpre.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. You were right around the corner from there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you were in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
And we just barely missed each other here because you moved out of LA in what year?
87.
Oh, no, we missed each other by a number of years because I moved here in 90, well, 4 or 5 years, 93.
Like the beginning of 88.
Yeah, I moved here in 93 because the earthquake was the next year, right after. There was 1 year after I moved here that Northridge happened.
Yeah, and I was in the Bay Area for the 89.
Right. My niece, Anna, was born during the 89 earthquake. My sister
really?
was in the hospital. Yeah.
Huh.
She was born during the World Series.
That didn't happen.
Yeah, the World Series didn't happen, exactly.
Well,
so how many earthquakes have you been through? You were through the 89. You went through the 89.
Oh yeah. And ones before that, like in 86, I was there. I was in Berkeley by myself in Lisa's apartment because she was living in New York and I was living in her apartment in Berkeley. And it was $190 a month for the rent. It was a 3-bedroom apartment right in Berkeley that now goes for probably $4,000.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And there was this one of those that ends with the big explosion towards the back of the house. And I had this little radio TV, those, remember those? They were like,
right, oh yeah.
And it had a radio, but then it had a little TV on it.
Mm-hmm.
That was my TV. And Nino had given it to me, and it had a pliers on it to change the channel. There's 3 channels.
Yeah.
Black and white TV. And I turned on the radio, and I had learned about K-Fog, which was a rock and roll station in San Francisco. And they were playing Burning Down the House, and then Shake, Rattle, and Roll. And I feel that they do an earthquake set every time there was an earthquake. And it was and then they said, and that's, blah, 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 or Carole King, we're doing an earthquake set. And that was my first earthquake. So that was probably in 86.
Wow.
And I've been in ones where I was, thrown out of my bed. But for the 89 earthquake, I was on the Cypress structure on my way to Alameda to watch the game, and I forgot my wallet at home. So I got off the structure, basically did a U-turn, got back on the freeway, drove home at like 5:02, and at that time it would take like from where I lived in Richmond Annex to Alameda was like a 15-minute drive, maybe. Now it takes an hour plus. But I got home, and Lisa had just gotten back from Hawaii, and she said, "Do you really have to go to the game? Why don't you just watch it here? I miss you. Hang out with me." I'm like, "Lisa, it's the World Series." I had gone to the game the night before, the week before.
And you had tickets.
I had gone to the games, and this was it was in San Francisco, and I was driving back over. She's like, "Please stay home with me, please." I'm like, "Come on, I just needed my wallet, and then I was going to meet Freddie and all these people." And we were standing in the doorway of our living room, which had these huge glass windows, huge windows. And all of a sudden, the earthquake started.
Wow.
And she goes, "Earthquake," and I'm like, "Earthquake," and she goes, "Let's go to the basement." I go, "No, that's tornadoes," because we were taught in Michigan.
Oh, right, of course.
I go, "No, tornadoes," and it kept going. Like we had this full-on conversation, and we're watching the windows go like this.
Oh my God!
And then we ran to the front door, and it was when every car had an alarm in it.
Sure.
And the street was rolling like this, and cars were popping up and down, and everybody's alarm was going off.
Yeah, of course.
And then my dad calls, Like a minute later, we're like, hello. Hey, how are you girls doing? Oh, we're fine. How are you? Because we didn't want to freak them out, you know.
Right,
We're
right, right.
all freaked out. Oh, just watching the game and just saw that. Did you have an earthquake? Are you okay? And we're like, oh my God. La, 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 la.
Yeah, you wanted to make sure that he was okay with you being in the earthquake, right? Oh, wow.
So after that, we slept with our shoes on the door and a bag by the door. And
Sure.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Well,
And
Northridge, I lived here for about a year. I was living, before I moved out, I was living with my Aunt Mary Lou, who is my father's sister.
hmm,
I lived with her and her son for a while, and then I moved out and moved to Silver Lake. And I was living on Berkeley Circle in Silver Lake, and my roommate was named Danny Mora. And we had a 2 bedroom, 1 bath duplex. We had one half of a duplex we were renting. And I had this is back when I could move in my hatchback. Well, I didn't have a hatchback at that point, but I could move in one carload. I had books, clothing, a lamp, uh, a trouble light, those kind of lights that mechanics have. That was my other light that I could hang in the corner of a room or hang from a bookshelf, which I didn't have. I didn't have any bookshelves. And I had a futon and pillows and blankets, and that was it. So
hey,
if I needed to move, I could like move within 2 hours. So I was laying on my futon. I'd been up smoking pot and watching TV till about 2 a.m. And our place was like 100 years old, so it had a big picture window in the front and then French windows on either side of the picture window. So I went over to the windows and looked out had a view of downtown LA, and it was a really clear night. So I looked and I could see the lights of downtown LA, and I closed the French windows and went to bed about 2:30 in the morning. And the earthquake was, I think, at 4:18 or 4:17 in the morning. And 1 minute before, like a dog, I rolled over and went, huh?
right.
Because there was something amiss. And I was like, what's going on? And then all of a sudden it started to shake, in the side to side, then up and down, then it went in all 3 directions, or all 4 directions, and it wasn't stopping. When it stopped, I was hearing glass break and stuff fall down in our kitchen. Oh, and this apartment was weird because the hallway, the passageway to get into the bedrooms was the kitchen. You had the living room, you walked through the kitchen back into the bedrooms because the kitchen was a galley kitchen. And so when it was all done with, I was laying in my futon holding my lamp and just like, me and my lamp, we survived. Just me and the lamp.
All I need in this world is this lamp.
Exactly. All I need is this one
Keep
lamp.
going.
It's the ugliest lamp in the world. I still have it. It's in the garage. Snowy will not allow it to be in the house. It is so ugly. It's like industrial green, sort of
Ooh,
modern.
cool.
It's very cool. I have to dust it off and bring it back in because I love that lamp. Anyway, so I get up and I think, and Danny, I'm like looking for my roommate, and I walk into his bedroom, and he had a big TV. TVs were still huge, but he had the TV set up at the end of his bed. He had bed and furniture and stuff, and so he had a chest of drawers set up with the TV on top of it, and the TV had fallen onto his bed, and I was like, Danny, oh no, not realizing that he had spent the night at his girlfriend's house. So Danny wasn't there. TV was on his bed. Danny wasn't there. So then I walked through broken glass and barefoot into the kitchen, through the kitchen, and it was still dark, but there were no lights. There was car alarms going off. There were
Yeah.
no lights in downtown LA, and the French windows had shaken open. So they were open, and there was this sort of unearthly air coming through that after earthquake kind of blowing through, with mist wafting through. So then I go back to the bedroom, sort of check things out. Everything's okay in there, best I can. I don't have a flashlight or anything. So I'm just like, okay, everything's cool in here. I go back through the kitchen, walking through the glass, and I open my front door, and my neighbors, they're a gay couple by the name of John and Paige. And Paige is in the door, and he's like, hey, are you okay? They're from North Carolina. I go, yeah, I'm okay. And he's like, hey, why don't you come over here? I didn't really know him. He was like, why don't you come over here? Is Danny all right? I said, Danny's not even here. He said, oh, you're all by yourself? Oh, well, come over and hang out with us. We should hang out together. And I'm like, oh, okay. And he goes, and put some pants on. I go, yeah, okay. And he goes, and put some shoes on. What are you doing? And so I go, okay. So I walk back through the glass and then I cut myself. After 3 times going through the glass, I cut myself that time. So that's how I became friends with John and Paige. I spent the rest of the day with them, smoking pot, and and every time we were listening to the radio, and every time they'd say, "Just check on your neighbors," Paige would go, "Are you okay?"
Here.
Yeah, here, exactly. So that was my first earthquake, my first big earthquake. I mean, we had experienced tremors in New Mexico and stuff, but yeah, that was the first big one.
Yeah, we ended
It's a
up
trip.
making food with our neighbors and having fun, and it's a bonding experience for
Oh
sure.
yeah, completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, Snowy was a mile away from the epicenter of Northridge. She was living in Northridge at the time. We
Mm.
didn't know each other. And she had been given a spiral cut ham from a show that she was working on. She was working on the Steve Harvey show. And one of the Christmas gifts was a spiral cut ham. So she had it was, January. So she had the spiral cut ham in the freezer. So she took it out and everything was defrosting. So she made ham sandwiches for all the neighbors.
I had a turkey in our freezer, and my neighbor had a big barbecue, and we took the turkey over. And then that's funny. My dad, Grace, you remember when you guys sent a care package? They sent all this really interesting stuff, and one of the things he sent was a ham. Must
Wow.
be a thing. A canned ham.
Ooh, I just got Russian mustard.
Oh,
Ah, just got it right in the back of the throat. Yeah, baby. Oh man, I love mustard.
that's
So
good.
good.
You're making me hungry. I'm gonna go make some food.
You should go make some food.
I'm gonna go
Hey,
make some.
have a great time tomorrow.
Thank you. I
I've
know.
never met Cam, but tell him that being married is the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Well, maybe you'll get to meet him sometime.
I
Maybe
would
he'll
love to.
meet you sometime.
Yeah, I would love to. I need to come see you in Michigan. I remember years ago when I was about 5, we came to see you guys when you guys lived in
Did
no,
we?
were you in Beloit? No, you were never in Beloit, were you?
Wait, Susie.
Susie was in Beloit. No,
When
we would
did you come where we had a pool, or the other house?
the other house. I don't remember a pool.
Okay, so that was our on Colfax.
Yeah, I lived on Colfax in LA.
Really?
The first place that Snowy and I lived together was on Colfax.
My first, you know how they always say your porn star name?
Yeah.
I had 2 different ones. I had a cat named Snippy, and I lived on Colfax, so her name was Snippy Colfax.
That's a great porn star name.
And the other one was Lady John Beers.
Wow. That's your British porn star name.
Lady John Beers. And then Lillian's was Lillian Tulip.
Oh,
Lillian,
that's great.
Lillian Pearl Tulip.
Lillian Pearl Tulip, indeed. Mine, I only have one. Man, that's Timmy Vassar.
Timmy Vassar.
Yeah.
Timmy.
Timmy. Such a good dog.
Timmy was a cool dog.
Such a dog. He was a cool dog. He was very territorial. Very tough, little tough guy terrier.
He was cool. Mom says Benton Harbor. That's where you guys visited
Benton
us.
Harbor. Yes, that's exactly where we saw you. Yeah, gosh, that was so long ago.
Yeah, now Benton Harbor is very cool and hip and trendy.
It's the Brooklyn of Michigan.
Yeah, totally.
Is it really?
Well, it's not
So
like
cool.
Detroit, but it's about to have, I think, 6 different dispensaries are moving in the next few months, and that whole thing's happening.
Oh, speaking of Detroit, I was listening to this show. It comes from the CBC, and I can't remember the name of it now. Tom Power. It's his interview show, and I can't remember the name of the show right now. But they interviewed Alice Cooper, and Alice Cooper has a #1 album right now.
Really?
His new album is called Detroit Stories. And he's from Detroit. I mean, he moved as a young person. He moved to Arizona, but he's from Detroit. And I guess in his heyday in the mid '70s, he and the band moved back to Detroit, and they recorded a lot there. So he did this album called Detroit Stories, and he does covers of stuff by the MC5 and the Stooges and Bob Seger. It's cool. They played some of the stuff, and it's really good. He's a great voice.
He's a great musician.
Yeah, I've always liked him. Have you met him?
Nino.
Really? Yeah, he comes across as just like a super nice guy, super cool guy. But yeah, it was interesting to hear him interviewed and he has Wayne Kramer playing with him from the MC5. He got this band of established Detroit musicians, and he was talking about how cool the scene was back then.
Pretty
You
good.
know,
It's a great jazz scene now. Still, I mean,
yeah,
not this moment, but
right.
yeah, I'm
Well, my
playing with
dear,
guys this next week from Upper Michigan, Iron Mountain. I think he lives in Iron Mountain, and then Allegan. Guys I played with in California 25 years ago. We're getting back together to play for the first time.
that's right. You mentioned that. I saw that a couple days ago. That's terrific. Where are you guys playing?
In Baldwin, Michigan.
Baldwin.
Mhm.
What's the name of the club?
It's not a club, it's an outdoor venue. This particular person, Scully, has created a tour, a full summer of week-long tours with different musicians.
Oh,
And
cool.
and years ago he's been doing it for 30 years.
Mm,
It's all outdoor venues. But
nice.
he a few years back got the radio frequency to be he rents it or owns it. I don't know if you can buy them or not, but he rents this particular radio frequency, so you stay in your car and you watch the show.
Oh, very cool.
And that's what people were starting to figure out last summer,
Right.
COVID, like going into drive-in theaters and stuff. He already had the whole thing happening.
Wow.
Yeah, like years before he had perfected it. So his whole tour went on last year.
That's
And
great.
we did it last summer. Remember we were on tour and I was
Yes.
in a
Yes. I do
outside
remember you.
fire in the hotel room. And well, this year we didn't do the whole tour. We're doing one night, and we're doing
Okay.
that on Wednesday. And we're staying in this town called Idlewild, which Google Idlewild, Michigan,
Okay.
and learn about it. And that's where I will be staying with Tom and his wife. And then we're doing the show, and then we're going to hike, and then we're going to have one extra night, and then we're going to take off.
Nice. Oh, that's gonna be fun.
Mhm.
Are you gonna be able to live stream the show?
I don't remember if
Because you live streamed some of the ones from the tour last year,
yeah,
but
I don't remember if there was if my phone will, I will. Yeah.
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 Because you had stage. Yeah, I mean, it's on the frequency, but there's also there's amplification too, right?
Right. Right. Oh, I just got got wrinkles, turkey neck, sagging skin,
Oh, you have none of that.
ageless glow.
You already have that. You don't need that. You got ageless glow.
Ageless.
I've seen you in person, and you have ageless glow. It's not just smoke and mirrors. It's not just filters. It's ageless.
Mhm. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I don't know.
You have a lovely weekend.
You too. Thank you.
Give your
Have
nephew a
fun.
great
Stay
big
in
hug
love.
from me from California. Give him a great big congratulatory hug on the engagement, and give Gracie a great big hug just because she's Gracie.
I'm gonna go give her a hug right now.
Great, I love you.
I love you too.
Oh, and caveat, everybody out there in 1111 land, I have not had an affair. Okay,
And I didn't
it's
move
not
my
true.
house. And I woke up going, did I move all my stuff out of that house? Did I?
Yeah, feeling like
I did move everything out, right? Yeah. Oh, I said same thing where you had that lingering, wait a minute moment.
oh wait, but you know what? I think you left your jacket in the Dunkin' Donuts ballroom.
I probably did. I've left really nice jackets. I have played in Idlewild, William. I have. I've played at the bar in Idlewild.
Well,
A couple times, 3 times.
super wonderful weekend to you. So nice to see you.
You too.
Always a pleasure. I love you.
I love you too. We could do a little.
11 with Jenna. 11 with Jenna. 11 with Jenna. 11. Who you gonna call right now? 11 with Jenna. With Jenna. 11 with Jenna. Right now. 11 with Jenna. With Jenna. 11. Who you gonna call right now? 11.
That's it, kids. Well, who's got a letter? I'll do the letter. If you give me a letter, I'll do the letter. Who's got a letter? I punched my husband once. Did you punch him in real life? Like in bed, did you punch him? What did he do? That's a story you're gonna, if you care to share. G. Here we go again, making up songs and having fun. Armando is okay, and he didn't do anything in the middle of the night. In the middle of the night, I'd say, I gotta get to this word I know, because I just love to say the name Grace. Have a gracious, thoughtful day. Have a graceful words to say. Have a gargantuan heart, and all we know is you are the Master G. Yes, you are the Master G. Mama Grace is the one to see. See ya later, Patty, William, Julie, Luce. See ya later, Armando is on the loose. See you in a minute, Mama G. Because right now I'm going outside with Lillian P. Stay safe, stay healthy, be nice, and love hard, real hard.